G'day guys, thanks for dropping in. And have you ever noticed how a race car driver will just gently tap on the brake pedal quite a way before they reach the corner during a race? And the reason they do that is to make sure they're going to have a brake pedal once they arrive at the corner, to make sure that they're going to be able to stop. Have you ever noticed how a boxer will throw a rangefinder punch before they deliver the main jab or the main punch? And the reason for that is to make sure that when they throw the punch, it's going to hit where it's intended. And of course, have you ever noticed how a golfer steps up and takes numerous practice shots before they actually approach the ball to make their next shot? Why do they do it? To make sure they're prepared, to make sure they're going to get what they want, to make sure they get what they need. And I don't know about my analogies, whether they fit or not, but there's a concept that I use when I do photography, which may be in this sort of realm, and I call it the safety shot. Okay, so how does a safety shot work for me? It's really, really simple. What happens with photography is that scenes often unfold or develop in front of you. Things change, things happen, things come into frame, things go out of frame. It's a constant evolution of what's there and available for you to take photos of. And let's take a really, really simple example. It could be a sunrise or a sunset. Now, as we know, these are quite fleeting moments. They feel like they should be decent passages of time, but as you know, it can be gone in a second. Some color can develop, can be really miraculous, and can then disappear. And photography is also about settings and having your camera set up correctly to be able to get the shot that you want. But oftentimes it's that fluffing around, I call it, while you're setting up your camera, getting your settings correct, getting everything the way you want it so you get that miracle shot that you've been after. And then in my experience, invariably, how often does it occur that while you're doing all that, the moment that you were looking to capture disappears, changes, becomes different, or all of a sudden all your opportunity to get that shot is gone? And that's where the safety shot comes in. So let's take the example of a fleeting sunset. Now, what I would do is if I was not prepared, and naturally a lot of photography is about preparation, timing, readiness, being in the right place at the right time. But let's say, for instance, you're not there at the right time, you might be slightly late, or you may just see something develop in front of you that you wish to capture. Here's what I do. First of all, I approach the scene or the subject that I want to photograph, and I turn on my camera, I pop it in automatic mode. Usually for me it's AV mode, depending on whether I want to focus on the depth of field. If it was something fast moving or there was some movement involved, I may choose shutter priority so I can control the shutter speed to get the effect that I want. But it doesn't really matter at this stage. It could be fully auto if that's what you decide. First things first, I get out, frame up, take a shot. Look, at this point, you're not so worried about your settings, your shutter speed, your aperture, your white balance, your focus points, or your metering modes, all of that sort of thing. The object is to get out and lock in a shot. Get the shot that you think you can see right away, and now that that's on the camera, you have the ability to slow things down and change the settings, update the camera to shoot what you want to shoot. Maybe you're going to get a better shot. What it does is it gives you the ability to relax in those next few shots. You know you've got the safety shot. It's on your memory card, it's on your camera, you've got that locked in. Worst comes to the worst, you've got a depiction of the scene that you can work with later down the track. If, for instance, the scene completely changes in front of you and all the opportunities to take the shot just whittle away like sand through your palms. It means that you've got a reference as well. You can chimp and look at that safety shot and work out where you want to go from there. Do you want to increase the depth of focal plane? Do you want to increase or slow down the shutter speed? Maybe you want a long exposure. All of these options come into play, but you've got the safety shot. So now you have the time and now you have the space to experiment or to refine to get the actual shot that you wanted. Now, I do this all the time. I mean, I get out, I lift the camera, I take the safety shot, then I spend the time dialing in the settings, trying to refine it, looking at my composition, looking at the different angles, where I can shoot from next, how I can really work the scene. But the bottom line is I've got the safety shot, and let me let you in on a bit of a secret here. Quite very often, my safety shot is the best shot I took. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but there's just something that happens for me that I get out, I take the safety shot, the scene changes, the scene develops, I don't quite get what I'm after at that point. Maybe I think I do, but when I get home, it turns out the safety shot's the only one in focus, or maybe it's the only one where the subject has presented in the way that I envisaged at the time. Who knows? It doesn't necessarily always have to be the best shot, your safety shot. It could be the very last shot you took. It could be any one of the number in between. but it's just something that takes the pressure off, lets you relax, lets you focus, let you hone in on what you're actually after, dial in your settings, work on your composition, improve on what you took, which is a safety shot, and then nail it. And that's basically it. It's just something that I do, and actually it really works for me. So I figure it helps to pass on to you, because maybe you give that a go. Who knows, all of a sudden you might be driving down the road and there's a hawk or a falcon sitting on a fence post. You stop the car, you go to get out, you take the long safety shot, bang. Now it's not the shot you want because it's not quite as close as what you want, but you've got a shot on there. Hey, you can crop it if you really want to. And then as you're approaching to take the better shot, the closer shot with more detail, the hawk or the falcon ups and flies away, and that's it. Now, if not for the safety shot, you would have, you guessed it, absolutely nothing. Hey, give it a go. See what you think. The safety shot. It's a little bit like making sure you've got what you need even before you get what you want. I hope that makes sense. Sing out if you've got any questions. Let me know below. Otherwise, as always, thanks for dropping in, and we're going to catch you next time. Bye.